everyone! So today I'm going to be talking about things that are very important and has lasting effects on the future of this nation, especially for us teenagers who will be the resumptions of this country. Good morning, greetings ladies and gentlemen. My name is Aurelia Puteri Heriyanto from Fair Public Senior High School Surakarta, standing right here in front of the screen to deliver my speech about brilliant generations without drugs. But first of all, I want to thank God and for all of the honorable judges for giving me the opportunity to talk about it today. So, why did I choose these topics even though I have zero experience on it? Drugs abuse or drugs addiction. Well, the thing is, even though I have zero experience on drugs abuse or drugs addiction, I have experience on addiction itself. And trust me, I know how it feels to be addicted to some kind of things. You know that stuck in a box feelings, that unstoppable cravings of needs, and all of the urge that, I need to have it, I can't do anything without it. You know, it's like a compulsion, a weakness to something. And I think that it's really important for us to stay away from it, drugs addiction. But the question is, what is it exactly? Well, drugs addiction is defined as a chronic relapsing disorder characterized by compulsive drug seeking and continued use despite all of the harmful consequences. And based on the data that I found on the internet, the number of drugs abuse among Indonesian students in 2018 reached 2.29 million people. In fact, one group of people who are prone to being exposed to drugs abuse are those who are in the age range of 15 to 35 years old, which are the millennial generation. Well, some of them try drugs because of their curiosity, and then they begin to start using it, and after they use it, they get addicted on it. And there are various factors of why teenagers have high levels of interest on drugs. Maybe it's because of their family's backgrounds, maybe it's because of their toxic circles of friends, maybe it's because of their state of mental health, and maybe lack of emotional support. So, as an escape, they use drugs. But hear me out. Drugs doesn't work. You know, let's think about it for a second. I'll give you a brief of description for what the worst scenario is if you use drugs. Well, when you start using drugs and your family starts to know it, and your mom and dad start crying, and your neighbors start to look at you as a shameful person, and then somehow you must have made a bunch of promises to stop, and at that very moment, you really mean it to the very core of your heart. But I'll tell you what the worst part is. You kept breaking those promises that you've made yourself. And how would you feel about yourself? Well, you'll feel less confidence, and somehow you will feel really bad about yourself, and all of those feelings increases high levels of anxiety. And let me tell you something. High levels of anxiety can cause depression. And what will you do all day long to make those feelings go away? You see my point? You start using drugs again and again as an escape. You see, once you get in, you'll find yourself difficult to get out. End of story. Drugs addiction is real. Well, I'm here, you guys, to tell you that we are the hope of Indonesia. Do not underestimate our privilege. We, teenagers, are in our productive age. So let's show them that we're not a passive generation. Let's avoid drugs abuse and fulfill our life with full of knowledge and talents. Well, somehow I heard people saying that making the wrong decisions starts when making the right decisions would have been easy, but we didn't think that it's important. Well, what I'm trying to say right here is that avoiding drugs abuse or drugs addiction is important. Important to ourselves, important to our nations, and important to our mental health. So here are 3 steps to help us avoiding drugs addiction. The first thing that you need to do is to have a strong relationships with your God and your family. Because I'm 100% sure that they'll keep you safe and aware from drugs abuse or drugs addiction. And the second thing that you need to do is to have a healthy circles of friends so that they can support you in a positive way. And the third one is to have an extensive knowledge so that you can separate the good things and the bad things. So, in conclusion, let's avoid drugs abuse and live our healthy life. We are the hope of Indonesia. Be a passionate teenagers for the sake of this country. That's all for me. Thank you for listening.